What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our mock draft.
All right. So the key with this mock draft is this is what we think will happen, not the things that we would do as GMs. We're going to do that in a different mock draft later next week.
And we're not including any trades that we think that they would make. So just to make that clear.
All right. So Keon, you take the odd picks and I will take the even picks.
Absolutely.
The first pick, where are you going?
First pick, we are going Joe Burrow out of LSU. Amazing prospect. Okay, had the craziest year. Before this year, third stringer at Ohio State, may have not even been drafted. Then his senior year, all of a sudden throws for 5,600 yards. Crazy completion percentage, 76%. So it's a no-brainer here. From Ohio as well.
The Ohio connection. He's worked his ass off his entire life, and I guess now he has to rebuild a program in his home state. So it's almost like he's restarting, and it'll be interesting to see if he can repeat his success they had with LSU. Okay, second.
Hopefully the Bengals don't mess this up.
Yeah, Bengals, I swear, they better not mess this up because this kid's amazing. All right, Chase Young. This is pretty obvious. This guy is my number one guy in the draft. If they take Tua, that would be interesting, but I seriously doubt it. Chase Young is a freak animal of an athlete, and he will add to that defensive front, even though it's already stacked. They'll just make it way too elite. And if Haskins doesn't work out, I think they can prepare for a different quarterback next year.
For sure. Okay, third pick, Lions. Cornerback, you got to replace Darius Slay. He's on the Eagles, so let's go. We are going Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State.
Pretty good pick.
Great player, pretty high for a cornerback, and 6'1", 205, crazy fast. So
seems pretty similar to the Denzel Ward move back in 2017, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, the Giants. They have Isaiah Simmons on the board. They have tackle need, but I think here the realistic move is that they're going to get a tackle, and they already have their left tackle spot filled up. So this is going to be another easy pick. These top 4 picks seem pretty easy to predict. Jedrick Wills. Alabama. Solid right tackle.
Definitely solid right tackle.
All right, number 5.
Protect Daniel Jones. He actually ended up working out for them.
Yeah.
Pick number 5. QB is a huge need for them. Tua, I know people are scared about injury concerns, but you got to take a risk every now and then. So, the Dolphins are going to take Tua. And crazy completion percentage as well. Actually, higher career completion percentage than Joe Burrow. A little bit under, it's about 68%, so really good. He got injured last year, but 2,800 yards. And, fantastic player. He has the highest upside out of any QB in this draft.
So number 6, the Chargers. People think Justin Herbert's going to go here, but I really don't have that idea in mind. I don't know if the Chargers want to be up this high in the draft and get the 3rd best quarterback. So I think that they are going to get a tackle here, and someone who completely showed out the combine with just a little bit over a 4.8 second 40-yard dash, Tristan Wirfs. This guy's an absolute animal, and he's very versatile. He can fit any position on the line.
Absolutely. Number 7, you would be crazy not to take him at this point. You have to take Isaiah Simmons. He is a monster out of Clemson. Honestly, one of the best linebacker prospects, of all time. Just as a prospect alone, of all time. This guy's a freak.
Yep. And the one thing that's very interesting about him is that he can be considered a safety as well, not just a simple linebacker. This guy has a 4.39 40-yard dash, if I'm not mistaken. And he's 6'4". People have comped him to Brian Urlacher, saying he's the next super freak in the NFL with speed, size, and amazing coverage ability. So this guy is truly, truly, truly a special talent. And you'll see him go probably higher in the draft where we do what we want to do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 8. Kyler Murray looked a little bit of a fish out of water there. And if this were my pick, hint, hint, I would go Andrew Thomas here. But there's way too much hype around this 370-pound, 6'7" monster in Mekhi Becton.
Yep.
So we're definitely going to do that, get Kyler Murray some protection. And I'm sure Kenyon Drake would love to run behind a monster like that. All right. Number 9.
Jaguars. Okay. Defensive line is a big need for them. And honestly, it could be 2 choices right here. We could go Derek Brown, of course, but we could also go Javon Kinlaw.
I would say if this were my pick, I'd go Javon Kinlaw just because I think that he has a way higher upside. But Derek Brown also just brings that complete animal interior defensive lineman aspect to him.
Is Derek Brown is definitely an animal. I
Yeah.
think the Jaguars, listen, they need help, okay, as a franchise. You know, a few years ago, they were pretty good. You know, they were making it to the playoffs like every single year. Now all they got is pretty much Gardner Minshew. They're trading away guys. It's basically like, you know, some people are even joking that they may become London's team. That's how bad they are. So I think they got to go for the higher upside and take a risk here. So Javon Kinlaw.
Oh wow! All right, a little bit of a shock in the draft since at least TD, like the mock draft machine, suggests Derek Brown should go higher. All right, at number 10, this is a pretty obvious pick. Baker Mayfield looked like he was getting ran down by every single edge in the world. So Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, I think he has the highest floor, maybe not the highest ceiling, but he's truly a solid tackle. He can fill in at that left tackle spot. And then Jack Conklin at right tackle will provide probably one of the best tackle duos for years to come.
Jets. Got to take a wide receiver here anyway. Okay, doesn't matter. Next 3 picks will most likely be wide receiver. You need Sam Darnold. You need to get him some help. So top-rated wide receiver in this draft is Jerry Jeudy, and that's what route I think they'll go. He had crazy stats at Alabama. He had 1,200 yards last year. And even though I personally think that CeeDee Lamb is better, this is what we think they would pick. So, you know, Jerry Jeudy, he's a fine prospect, and he'll definitely do well over there.
All right. Raiders, a lot of people are mocking a quarterback to the Raiders at this point, and Justin Herbert is here. They do need wide receiver and cornerback really badly, and CJ Henderson and CeeDee Lamb are on the board. And I think that they would rather get the number 2, or on a lot of people's boards, the number 1 wide receiver over the number 3 quarterback. So I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma.
Great pick. Great pick. Honestly, I think the best wide receiver in this draft, like I said. 49ers. So as they saw in the Super Bowl, I think it's pretty useful if you get a little speedster, you know, and you could throw some deep routes in, you know, precious time situations. So let's go Henry Ruggs out of Alabama. 40-yard dash, 47.
Yeah, a little bit of PTSD with Tyreek Hill basically completely ending their Super Bowl hopes on that last throw. All right.
How many yards was that last throw?
I don't even know. It was just like there was at least 10 yards of separation between the quarterback and Tyreek Hill. And I'm sure it's definitely in their minds that they might.
It wasn't any other cornerback. It was Richard Sherman. So that just tells you a lot there.
Yeah. Tom Brady's Buccaneers. Another topic that we're going to definitely talk about. Oh, yeah. So they need some offensive line help really badly. And you want to protect your old man back there, your grandpa. So, I mean, this is a pretty simple pick. I mean, some people will say that they should go running back here, but I highly doubt it. Let's just go the safe route. Josh Jones, 4-year starter at Houston, got over 90 grades by PFF in every year, and he's just a solid right tackle to go with.
Sure. I mean, you got to protect Brady. I mean, if he wants to play till 45, he needs to be protected. So Broncos, they need a wide receiver. That's true. But Broncos are all about defense in my eyes. And we're going to go cornerback. So we're going CJ Henderson.
Replacing Aqib Talib and his press presence there. So the Falcons, they need some cornerback help, some D-line help. And kind of crazy that Derek Brown's fallen so far. And I think that they're going to go the best player on the board, Derek Brown. No real need to say how much of an animal this guy is.
He's you got to pick him up at that point.
Yeah. He's like a Dontari Poe. I mean, he was hinted at being the best player since Reggie White at Auburn, which is quite high praise. So I'm pretty sure that the Falcons would not want to pass him up at 16.
Okay, Cowboys. It's a little tough one for me. You know, you need a cornerback, you need a safety. I like Xavier McKinney a lot, but there's definitely different routes you could go here. I feel like they need a cornerback a little bit more than a safety. What are you thinking, Alex?
I think that a cornerback is kind of useful since they just lost Byron Jones. I mean, safety, like they've always been a liability at safety.
Yeah.
And it is true you're getting the third best corner versus the best safety. But I like the upside with the corners above the safeties, in my opinion.
That is true. Now, 2 corners are on the board right here. There's Jeff Gladney, and then there's Christian Fulton. You know, somebody once called LSU DBU. So let's go Christian Fulton. I like him.
Got a little bit exposed in the national championship, but obviously has a lot of upside. He had some great upbringing with his coach. All right, so Dolphins. They just took Tua, and they need some offensive line help, definitely, especially with his injury concerns.
Oh yeah.
But there is a freak of nature on the board still. I don't think he's worth being the 17th best player. I think he's worth being a little bit higher than that, just based on his upside. However, I don't think they can pass up on K'Lavon Chaisson, edge out of LSU.
Hmm.
Freak of nature.
Interesting. Okay, Raiders. You know, they need a cornerback, and now it's time to address that. So let's go pick up Jeff Gladney out of TCU.
Love this guy. Very, very, very athletic. He's very good at coverage. Had a little bit of time where he got exposed, but he definitely is a solid cornerback with a lot of upside.
Oh, for sure.
Number 20, the Jags. So we took Javon Kinlaw earlier, and they're really hurting at cornerback. But as you guys can see, Jalen Johnson is the next corner. It says that they need safety, and I'm pretty sure Ronnie Harrison isn't the best bet. And Xavier McKinney's on the board. So we can bring the Alabama boys together with Ronnie Harrison and Xavier McKinney back in the backfield and create quite a formidable secondary. And
I love it.
Belichick way, build from the back forward. So let's build a solid safety core. And you saw what happened with the Chiefs. They had some pretty buns corners, and they had some solid safety work.
Yeah.
And they won the
Tyrann
championship
Mathieu.
because Tyrann Mathieu just went completely off in the championship game.
For sure, the Honey Badger. Nothing like him. Eagles, baby. Let's go. Okay? So we need a wide receiver. Carson Wentz needs a whole lot of help, okay, in that wide receiver position. I hope they would trade up for Henry Ruggs, but at this pick, they're going Justin Jefferson. He's a champion. He could bring that championship mentality to the Eagles. They won a few years ago. Let's go Jefferson.
All right. Well, some interesting things happened. The top two needs for the Vikings are kind of unsaturated, but I would usually want to go K'Lavon Chaisson if he fell here, just because I think he could be a Danielle Hunter type. But that's not the case. They need interior offensive line. And I don't know if there's anybody better in this draft at that than Cesar Ruiz. And I think this guy is actually a lot better than 33, as you'll see in my rankings. And I think this guy will be able to add to that offensive line that really, really, really needs to protect Kirk Cousins a bit better, especially with his contract money.
Yeah. And we saw that, you know, Kirk, he doesn't choke after all. He beat the Saints last year, and I feel like that's a huge accomplishment. So Patriots say they are going to go for Jared Stidham. Honestly, Justin Herbert is ranked, at least on this site, as the fourth best player in this draft. He's the third best QB. They cannot miss him. So they're going to pick up Justin Herbert out of Oregon. Good prospect. He has a lot of downside, but he has a whole lot of upside.
He's an athletic freak. I don't think if he's supposed to be going in the top 10. So in this draft, he fell just based on the fact that there's so many other needs with these teams. And also next year, there's going to be probably a little bit better of a quarterback class. But I don't think the Patriots, even though it's not their way, would pass up on a potential franchise quarterback falling to 23.
Absolutely.
24. The Saints definitely need a linebacker. This is going to be an obvious pick here. However, people want to go with Patrick Queen. This dude is inconsistent. I honestly do not think that he's even worthy of this pick right here. But I do think this man right here, Kenneth Murray, is an absolute monster. He lacks a little bit of coverage aspect, but far more consistent than Patrick Queen ever was. So I'm going to go Kenneth Murray.
I like the pick. Vikings, their defense is already raw. They need a cornerback, and I feel that they'll go, sorry if I butchered this name because I know I will, Noah Igbenogany.
Igbenogany. Out of Auburn.
Igbenogany.
I mean, I don't blame you for messing that one up. So I'm pretty sure that the Dolphins were hoping that Cesar Ruiz would fall this far. But they still need offensive line help for Tua because their offensive line is atrocious. Now you may say Isaiah Wilson. These guys they're top talents. They're solid. I say there's someone who is kind of a sleeper that they're going to reach for. We always see these reaches in the draft where there's third round picks where they should really just be staying there and a team will go up and just reach for him. Matthew Peart is a monster. I think he's going to be a solid tackle in the draft, and he's going to go up this high. Got to protect Tua.
Oh, did not see that coming. I mean, hey, he is a monster. I think, the fact that he went to UConn kind of holds him down a little bit, but you got to make those risks sometimes. Now here, because Ezra Cleveland wasn't taken, the Seahawks will take him out of Boise State.
All right. He's an athletic freak. I thought he was a little bit inconsistent with his aggressiveness, but he does look to be pretty solid at tackle. Plus, the Seahawks always like to reach for people who we don't really think is qualified at that pick, but
Yeah.
they'll find a way to make it work. Ravens, if it were me, I would wish Kenneth Murray were up here. Even though I'm a Steelers fan, I think Kenneth Murray is a perfect fit. Patrick Queen is still on the board, and they really need linebacker help. So they're going to go with him. He has a lot of upside.
And he was picked at his ranking spot, so it only makes sense. Tennessee Titans. Oof. Need defensive line. Edge.
So we got Yetur Gross-Matos, as Terrell Lewis, Josh Uche, Curtis Weaver. You guys are all up here.
There's a lot of guys on the board. I like AJ a lot. I think we got to go that. AJ
Epineza, monster out of Iowa. I honestly thought that he was going to be a lot higher. Just
I thought that at one point the Saints could have picked him or something, made some, their defensive line, improve that with Cameron Jordan. He's a monster. But no, it only makes sense to pick him now.
Let's go with the Packers. So I think that they're going to go wide receiver. And you may say, oh, Denzel Mims, this guy ran like a 4.39 in the combine, 4.38. He's above like 6'3". What do you think about that? I would say that's great. However, I think he's lacking a Randall Cobb type. And Jalen Reagor, people will say he ran a 4.47 at the combine. It's not really that good. I think, honestly, that his quarterback play really limited him. But I just saw a tape as of yesterday of him running a 4.28 or a 4.22-yard, 40-yard dash.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think that speed would be something that Aaron Rodgers really needs to be able to stretch the field if he's not doing as well. So, we already have a guy like Denzel Mims in Equinemius St. Brown. Let's go with Jalen Reagor.
49ers. Okay, so you need a cornerback. Honestly, they're going to pass on cornerbacks, actually. I just thought they already have a monster defense. I think they need to protect Garoppolo because he's going to be throwing to Henry Ruggs now. They need to buy him a little bit of time to get downfield. So offensive line is a need here. Are they going to go the California kid, Austin Jackson out of USC? The answer is no, they're not, because they already passed on two of the best California kids in history with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So they are going to go Isaiah Wilson.
Let's go with the Chiefs. All right, so they need cornerback, and luckily the San Francisco 49ers decided to say, oh, we're not going to take Jalen Johnson. Mm-hmm. So as much as I wish Grant Delpit were taken here, we're going to take Jalen Johnson. This guy's honestly great. He pops out on tape. So
amazing.
Yeah, this is our first. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you think. Also, if we can get a little bit of support, you guys can leave a comment or like a like or something to show us whether you actually want us to do a little bit more, because we're thinking about doing a round 2 and round 3. Let us know. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.